Today we kōrero with the legendary Suzy Cato. She is literally sunshine in human form. She has had a massive career in children's TV and music and book writing, and I honestly think she is only just getting started. We kōrero about the importance of connecting with people, about being aware and intentional with our actions, how bad moments should not equal bad days, and how to get started writing books. Let's get into it. So thank you so much for being here with us, Suzy, and making the trip from Tamaki Makaurau all the way to Kirikiriroa.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation. Lovely to be here.
I was promising myself not to get too excited because I'm really, really excited. But you're such a special human, and I'm just really, really excited to share your wellbeing journey and different talking points with the people who are listening today, because I think there's so much to take away just from when we caught up. About your mindset and about your approach to wellbeing. So I'm really excited and thank you so much. But first we'll get you in the zone. We'll do a random wellbeing card from the...
Ooh, don't look. Okay. Okay. What's the one thing you'd like others to remember about you at the end of your life? I'm going to have tears.
That is a legendary question to open
Yeah,
with.
that is a lovely question. I think what I would like people to remember about me is how much I loved them. Oh God. And how proud I am of them, and how much I have loved life, and how much fun we've had. How many things am I allowed to say that I want them to remember?
As you want.
Just the one thing? Yeah, one handful of things. Yeah, I think we'll stop there before I cry anymore.
That's amazing.
That's a beautiful question to ask,
Yeah.
and it makes you think about what you're doing in your day-to-day to be the person that you want people to remember you by.
Yeah. And every day, not just those like once a year things that we might do as giving our time to different groups or being there for certain events, but like every day, what's that thing that you do that... We work with David Galbraith, who is an amazing psychologist, and he talks about being a quintessential weirdo, and that one day on his epitaph he doesn't just want David Galbraith, father of he wants to be like quintessential weirdo. You know, he lived a life, and that's what he wants, and I think that's just in line with what you just said as well. It's so important to just
definitely, and to be true to yourself. To be true to yourself, and that truth is positive, and it's life-giving as well as life-receiving and life-living. So, okay, I'm just going to wipe away the tears now. Okay.
So we'll move into where you started. So you grew up in a small town. So talk to us about growing up in a small town in Aotearoa and how that shaped you.
Well, let's start. My first 5 years were in Hamilton.
Yep.
So, it's nice coming back home. And then all my schooling was completed in Kaikoui in the far north. So we had a population of about 3,500 at the time, and it was quite a busy little service hub. Not quite the same these days. It's a couple of the big corporates have gone in, the warehouse and McDonald's and the like, and that's shut so many of the smaller businesses run by families. So what I loved about growing up in Kaikoui was the fact that it was so small. And it was so intimate. And if you didn't know somebody, your parents did, or your sister might have done, or that kind of thing. You pretty much knew everybody. So there was that sense of belonging to a certain extent, because there was a hi, you're waving out to your neighbours from the other side of town, but also, if I do something wrong, then they're going to see me. So.
Not going to get away with much around.
Yeah, you're a part of a community, and Mum and Dad were so heavily involved in the community as well too. They had a coffee bar, the Al Morena Coffee Lounge for a while. They were involved in JCs and Rotary and all those sorts of things. So it was a close community. It was lovely.
And also amazing role models to grow up around and see how they're contributing to a community as well. I imagine that would be a huge influence for
definitely.
Everything you've done.
Spent a lot of time at the school with various PTA organisations and things like that. Yeah, and I've actually enjoyed doing that myself as a parent, being involved in the PTA and the fundraisers and all those sorts of things. What do they say? It's a stay at school, full-time working mum? Yeah.
Yeah. Which leads us beautifully into when we talked about like being put into boxes as we go through our life. So you're a single woman, and then you're a mum, and then you're a working mum, and you're all these different things. So talk to us about how your identity has kind of evolved over the years and where you are now.
Okay, that's, because it was really interesting. As a child, I remember I must have been in about year 5. Standard 3, Standard 4 I think it was. Oh, yeah, something like that. I've got to make the old grey matter work on that now.
I give up on the years versus standards.
Yeah. We were given an opportunity to write a letter to the principal, and I wrote, "Dear Mr. and I can't remember the name of his name now. I would like you to know that my name is Suzy Cato. I am Carol Cato's daughter, but I am Suzy Cato. I am my dad's daughter, but I am Suzy Cato." And it was this lecture basically that I am my own person within myself. And my teacher was really, really surprised because I had been an incredibly shy kid, and for me to be putting my little hands on my hips and stamping my foot going, I am my own person, not just the child of these adults that you know. She thought that was really quite interesting. And looking back on it now, I go, wow, that was really interesting that I would have done that. I don't know that the principal ever got that letter, but it was a good writing exercise. And I guess my beginning to find myself and who I am. Yeah. So I've been the surfy widow sitting on the beach while the boyfriend's out on surfing and all those sorts of things. Me, the dog, a book. If I'm lucky, he'll have brought a friend and I'll have a friend on the beach as well, type of thing. But yeah, we do end up being pigeonholed, don't we? So being a mum, I think, has been one of my proudest badges. And being a wife and being a friend, and they're all hats that we wear, and we are different when we put those hats on. So the person that we are with our husband is not going to be the person that we are with our children or you know, our next door neighbour or something like that. So it's about being aware that we do change our personality to meet those needs, but it's still about being true to yourself. Yeah,
and that's the thing, right? That's an integrity that you carry into the environment. So you might need to be stronger spoken in different environments, but your values and the things that you carry in each space don't change. You know, your kindness, I imagine, would not change whether you're in a corporate meeting versus at home hanging out with your children, but the tone would change possibly, but
yes, yeah, quite possibly. You get the telephone voice on when you're when you're in a corporate environment. Although you do often get them, as I've done on the stairs of Parliament and in other meetings, council and so on. I've often started with, "Hello, my name's Suzy Cato. It's our time. Kia ora, talofa. Shall we etu? Okay, etu, stand up. Okay, eno, sit down." And I'll have them do that, and they go, "What's going on?" And it's a way of going, okay, I'm about to talk to you about kids stuff. You've just had a laugh, you've just gone bright red and all the rest of it, but we're here to have a bit of fun and talk about kids content and how we get things happening for kids as opposed to it being a formal environment. So yeah, still true to myself and giving them a chance to find their child again.
Yeah. And it also it puts people on the back foot enough to think, actually, I came in here with a preconceived notion of how this would go, or it actually makes them go, hold on a minute, you know, like just before, brain engaged.
Yes, exactly.
Thinking something different.
Yeah, at the start of my career, I don't know how well that would have gone down, but after X number of years and everybody knew who I was about, it was like, okay, yep, that's to be expected.
Yeah. And if you did that in a meeting I was in, I'd start singing with you.
Yay, love it, love it.
That would be the only way to proceed. Now, I love that your children were instrumental in getting you back into performing, so talk to us about what it's like to have that kind of supportive whānau and how important they were in making you take that step forward.
Yeah, well, I guess it started with when they were just very, very young. I was involved with a few little things at their preschool and school and so on. And they would see me with the microphone, and because we'd always be singing and dancing at home, there was that they were up on the stage as well, and they're hanging off the microphone cord going, my turn type thing. Hang on, my turn at the moment. And we were going through a whole lot of a box of old magazines and things like that, and they saw all these photographs of me with other children and on stages and in front of huge crowds, like Christmas in the park and things like that. And I went, Mum, why don't you do this anymore? And I said, well, I used to do that for lots of other children.
Yeah.
I've got you now, so sit down and I'll sing your song. And they said, no, could you go and do it somewhere else, please? No, they were really supportive. It's go, why aren't you doing it?
Yeah.
And we'll come with you. And so they are performers in their own rights as well.
Wow.
But we were the family that had builder friends, so we had a little stage in the corner of the room, which really was not much bigger than this coffee table. So they couldn't dance very far, but boy, it got a workout. And
so cool.
We've only just replaced the carpet after 23 years, and there is a space between the ranch slider and the back of the couch, which was threadbare. And that was basically the performance area. We'd turn the couch around, push it back up against the coffee table, and that was their performance area to dance and perform and sing and headstands and, you know, all those sorts of things.
That's so cool. We do something very similar. I'm sure my kids, like my husband literally said to me the other day, our kids are really weird, you know, like I'll start singing and everybody just gets involved and they're dancing across the floor. I'm like, if that's weird, like good.
Yeah, that's good weird. That's great
weird.
There's
nothing bad about, and just getting them to be really happy in themselves to express it. If there's a song, our son just did a play at school and he's standing to the side of the curtain, you know those videos when those kids are like just going nuts and everyone else is like holding themselves together. He's dressed as a donkey and he's like and dancing away, and I was like,
excellent,
like, good. That's like a badge.
Yeah, you're being comfortable in your own skin and you're enjoying the moment. How beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, so priceless. And soon you're going to have another life transition with your daughter going off to uni and soon your son not too far off of that. So how are you feeling about that transition as you move closer to it?
I've had a bit of a practice.
Yeah.
As a 14-year-old, my daughter went to Nepal with World Challenge.
Oh, wow.
So that's World Challenge. I don't know how many trips they're doing now, but before COVID, they were taking lots of school groups and corporate groups to various destinations around the world, and a lot of third world countries. Where you'd have the opportunity, these kids, my daughter was one of the youngest, there were two 14-year-olds that went over as part of the group. They had the flight there and back taken care of, the first night's accommodation taken care of, and they had this month there that as a group, they needed to work out where they were going and how they were going to get there. So they learnt very quickly how to be independent, how to work together in little teams of 3 and 4, how to work together as a group and go, okay, well, we're going off to go here. What time are you going to be at the bus? What time do we all need to be there? They had to be in charge of their own wallet and their own, touching my tummy, they had to be in charge of their own tummy, their bum bag, so their money and their passports and things like that. So that was a big one, but she'd saved up all year for her part of the contribution to it, and they did so many wonderful things, including going into schools and working to build fences and to dig foundations for fences to keep the rhinoceroses out of the school grounds, you know, things like that. So I had a bit of a practice run with that, and she's also just had 9 months away in Europe. So she knew when she left school that she wanted to go to university and carry on learning, but she still hadn't decided what it was that she wanted to do. So we said, go and find yourself, discover the world, discover who you are. And she's made so many wonderful friends and has had the most amazing time. So she's just announced that she's chosen the university, and we braced ourselves and know now that it's Auckland,
yay.
Yep, but I can see a lot of washing coming back in the weekend. Sunday meals,
home
that kind
meals,
of stuff. Which we just are very, very grateful for. Look, if she'd gone anywhere, we would have supported her, part of the growth and development, but to have her at home is really special.
And you'll probably find you'll become the surrogate mum to a lot of others.
Yes,
that's
please.
what my mum did, because I studied in Hamilton and I had all these friends from Napier and everywhere else, and they'd all come round for Sunday dinners, because otherwise they just had hostel food and noodles. So they really, really appreciate it, and mum and dad were just always like, come on round, just whenever. They'd come and feed for lunch. I think they planned to lose all of their bread by Tuesday each week, but
Fabulous.
But I think that again, you're going to create another probably community within that once things settle. That's really cool. Now, you are part of a lot of communities, but tell us about the music community and how that has changed over the years from being quite siloed and competitive into this really beautiful collaborative space that you've worked really hard to be part of and develop.
Well, I've been just one of a team, but yeah. Well, the children's music industry, we have amazing artists creating albums of amazing songs for kids, and they've been at it for decades, but nobody knew anything about them. So I've got a kids radio show. It's on 25 radio stations around the country. I've got a kids podcast that's starting this year on RNZ. So you can edit that out if you need to. But we've got, so the kids radio show, every week we were finding new artists that we hadn't heard of before. Oh wow, let's find out a bit more about them. This is their third album. How have we not known? I've got kids of that age. Why do we not know about these people? And it was because a lot of people, as you say, were working in silos. They were quite concerned that they'd got a following in their hometown of Nelson or Hamilton or wherever it was, and that if they invited anybody else in, they would lose those listeners, that they would lose the people that are buying their CDs, that kind of thing. So we formed an organisation called Kiwi Kids Music, and it's a collective of over 100 singer-songwriters, and there's everybody there. There's Anika Moore, there's Kath B, there's Levity Beat, Itty Bitty Beats, Suzy Cato, she's really good too.
She's pretty neat.
Yeah, and it's been wonderful because I've always sung, and I've always sung other people's songs, but through the various collaborations, I have now created a whole lot of content myself, which is wonderful. Arthur Basting was pivotal, am I saying it right? Yeah, pivotal in the starting up of Kiwi Kids Music as well. Unfortunately, Arthur's no longer with us, but he had been a champion of children's content, particularly music, for many, many years, and had created a number of songs with a preschool presenter called Justine Clark from Play School in Australia. So one of the first songs that I ever wrote and worked on as a collaboration was with him and his writing partner Peter Dasent, and we took the Gumtree family, which was very popular for Justine in Australia, and made it the Kāori family. So, and it was released as a book, and to see the joy in Arthur in that song becoming a Kiwi song, and for that book to be read and enjoyed by kids, used in schools and things like that, was absolutely wonderful. And to know that kids were hearing songs that weren't about Australian animals, they were about New Zealand animals. But there have been so many songs like that, that through Kiwi Kids Music, we've got kids festivals happening, we've got the New Zealand Children's Music Awards in May, we've got all these things which are building the awareness, building everybody's confidence, and the quality of the music coming out now is phenomenal. So have a look for them on Spotify. I think Kiwi Kids Music, I'm no longer chair, but they do have a website they're building. If you want to follow me, suzy.co.nz, then I can put you in touch with all these people too. So yeah, but it's wonderful to see the community develop and the how they're working together and collaborating and promoting each other and supporting each other, and these wonderful friendships from all around the country and all around the world, because we've got expats overseas writing songs, and wonderful.
I feel like there's been a tide turn on lifting each other up instead of A, competing, or B, quietly tearing each other down, but not being seen to tear people down, because we don't do that, But I think there's been a huge turn in that. It's great to publicly celebrate others as well.
So, it's that whole tall poppy syndrome, isn't it?
And Kiwis, bless. We're not great for, it's one of our worst things to pull them down, but to see, you share other artists' music, it's also role modelling, but it's showing that generation that's coming through, that this is what we do. We collaborate and we celebrate and
exactly. And with my kids radio show and the festivals and events that I'm a part of, where we're bringing all these artists together, we are building listeners who want to listen for Kiwi kids or Kiwi music in general. So we're building these audiences who are going to grow up and buy tickets to hear local artists perform. So that's the whole idea too. It's about building wider communities, not just around kids' music, but just in general, and giving parents permission to be a part of their kids' lives, to enjoy those songs. Because those songs are invariably silly and fun and cheeky and a little bit rude at times, and
as it should be.
Exactly.
Because that's life.
Yeah, true.
And a child remembers those become their favourite books. So it's a little bit cheekier, a little bit, just a little bit different. So one of my non-negotiable values is connecting, and it doesn't matter what environment I'm in, whether I'm at home, whether I'm at work, I'm trying to connect with the people that I'm with, but also connecting to myself is a really important one. And that's what you do in all the environments that you're in. And it's not just connecting to connect, but it's connecting to learn and to grow. So talk to us about how important that approach has been as you've moved through your career.
Well, just as it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to support an adult, and we're not doing this life thing in isolation. So many of us are going through the same thing all at the same time. Once upon a time, as invariably it was the mums, okay, the dads were down the pubs and all the rest of it, but they might not talk about anything other than the GGs and the rugby and all those sorts of things. Mums would be out at the washing line talking over the back fence about what child was doing what and all the rest of it, and you knew that you were all on the same path together. Yes, your youngest had just started teething and that one's first child had just started teething. You were able to just share that information and you knew that you were doing it all together. So for me, and that's what I love about social media, okay, it's a job and there's an aspect of it that I don't enjoy, but a way of connecting. And what I try and do every Monday and Friday is do a well-being,
You give your hug.
Oh,
you do.
Yeah. So so what I try and do every Monday and Friday is I reach out with, Friday it's a funny, but then it's generally, hey, let's laugh at ourselves type thing, and look for the fun in the day. And on a Monday, it's more about, oh, it's Monday. Okay, so big hugs for your Monday and your everyday, because we're doing this together and it's Monday, but everything's going to be okay.
Your social media feels like sunshine. You know, when you scroll that, it genuinely just feels like a welcome, lovely place that's happy and kind.
Great.
So in case you needed feedback about, that's your brand approach.
Tick, I've done it right.
Yay. But it does. It makes you smile, and it's about children's music, but it's also about the adults who are supporting the children to listen to the music, and you can see that with those hugs. It's really, really cool.
It's with the audiences that I have, there's a lot of parents there with children. Some of the children are too young to know who Auntie Suzy is yet, so you know that they're there more for themselves. But often people will come along to the kids' shows that don't have children at all. So I'm during the New Year's Eve, I have been doing the Festival, which is a drum and bass festival. It's a family festival. I think they've got over 200 kids this year, and they have lots of activities for the kids and things like that. But the big top marquee is full of adults who all get up and do heads, shoulders, knees and toes with me and are definitely singing "It's Our Time" and "See You Later." Oh my goodness, if I left the tent without singing that, I'd be in trouble.
You should try one day and just see the riot that ensues. Sorry guys, have you got insurance? Bye. Well look, when I was 7, you and me started, and thank God you did it, because I was a kid who got bullied and was really trying to figure who I was out in this, what felt like quite the mess, like what am I doing wrong kind of time. And so there's a lyric and I have to read it. So hello, hooray, it's a good day, no matter where, no matter who, you can join in too. And that really mattered. Oh God, I welled up with tears. I don't well up with tears easily. But with each show that you did you have a goal in mind, or did you think that you were talking directly to a child? What was your approach as you were developing the show?
Well, see, I came in on the 100th episode. There was somebody prior to me singing It's Our Time, Kia ora talofa. So I'd like to say that my concept but it wasn't me at all. I auditioned along with about 80 others, 70 to 80 others. I'd only just started taking singing lessons, so I had the confidence to even audition singing It's Our Time, Kia ora talofa. And there were 3 songs during the show, so you really did have to have some musical confidence. But it was created by a chap, Rick Simpson, who had been creating children's content for years. And he'd done What Now, and he'd done Nice One Stew, and a whole lot of lots of fun, but he tried to also bring value into it. Not quite as to the extent that he did with You and Me, but that he really wanted a place where everybody belonged and was accepted and could have fun. I don't know that he anticipated that it would have as much involvement in a person's life as it did, but to know that people still hear that song and just absolutely love it. It takes them right back to their childhood, that safe place. For some it was a little oasis in a really rough childhood. So I hear that story so often, which is, I'm so grateful that they had that program, and I'd love to take full credit for it, but there was an amazing team, all with preschool training. So they knew the language, they knew the content, the stories, the actions, and all those sorts of things that we needed to use. And I just found a home there, and it just resonated so well with me that it was such a sense of belonging. When I arrived there, it was like, it was like putting on a glove. So wonderful.
Amazing, amazing.
So I guess my content now continues that on. So the songs that I've been writing, Sprinkle a little sunshine over you. It's about, we wrote it for my children and Kath's grandchild. It was Kath and I writing together, and it was all about, not every day is going to be a good day, guys. Stuff will happen that we don't like, or we'll get out of bed on the wrong side of the bed, you know, it's just, that happens. Even as an adult, we need to find what makes us happy that isn't out of a bottle or, you know, out of a packet, or, you know, that we can look for the good and have those blue sky moments. My most recent song with Jenny Joy is about being a unicorn and finding the magic. And with Kath, I released a song in a book. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. All about perseverance, resilience, giving things a go. And that just, I wrote that song, I started writing that. Kath did the melody and we wrote the lyrics together, but I started with that, chugging up a hill for Dancing with the Stars, just trying to get fit enough to go to dance training, because we were doing dance training 6 to 7 hours a day. When we first started out, it was more like 9 hours a day when we were right in the depths of it. And I just really needed to get off my chuff and start walking. And I'm walking up the hill beside my house going, what have I got myself in for? I can't do this, I can't. Well, it's too late, I've signed up.
We're in.
I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And each time I said it, I got a little bit faster and I was able to get up that hill. And I contacted Kath and I said, we need to turn this into a song. I said, it needs to have a bit of a marching beat, and it took us 5 years, but we did it.
You got there.
And it became a book with Scholastic New Zealand, and it's now being created into a resource for schools with certificates and to acknowledge kids with an I can do it attitude. So that hopefully rolls out later on this year.
That's massive. Now, speaking of books, you've written a few really, really cool books. So for anyone who's listening, because we talk about wellbeing and finding these different paths that you might like to explore and try. For anyone who would want to try and write a book, where do they start and what should they do if they've got a concept in their head and it's brewing and they're not doing anything with it? What should they do?
They should pick up a pencil or a pen and start writing, or sit at the keyboard and just start writing. So maybe start with bullet points. What's the book about? Who are the characters? You know, what kind of imagery do they envisage? Then once they've gone that far, you can get tear out a few pages from an exercise book at 24 pages, and then start out And a really good thing is to go and have a look at kids' books, grab some from the library or from your own bookshelves and go, okay, how does this layout work? So where do I want my text? How much text am I going to have on each page? And what kind of pictures do I have? That's how I did it for my very first storybooks. I went, okay, I can envisage Suzy sitting on a couch, and I'm thinking this is for Suzy the scuba diver, and she's about to go on a picnic, and then it starts to rain. So she uses her imagination to create an indoor scene, like we've done as we grew up, and hopefully kids are doing now, that the couch is a boat and like the floor is lava type thing. You know, the water, if you're going to fall off the boat, you're going to fall into the water. What's going to be there? Oh, well, let's cut out some cardboard or paper fish, and we've got, you know, seaweed and things like that. So the books are about encouraging imagination with Suzy as a young person, because that's what Suzy used to do. We used to do drag the dress-ups out, grab the cardboard box and turn it into whatever. So yeah, now I've lost my train of thought. I'm back to you writing. Hang on, bear with me, I'm getting there. But it's about giving it a go. And you will get writer's block from time to time, but that's okay. Just put it aside, go and do something else, go and do some gardening, go sit on the loo, go and have a shower, whatever it is. And it's sometimes those thoughts will hit you in the moment.
When you're not trying too hard.
If you're writing a novel, I hear it works better that you actually sit down for a designated time each day and write. And write and write. You can then go back and screw it up and all the rest of it. But if you get yourself into a real routine, your body, it's like muscle memory. But with a picture book, I find it's much easier to create the pictures in my mind and then create the story around it. One
idea for anybody listening is shower paper. You can now buy paper that you can, so a little like notepad that you can keep in the shower that's waterproof.
Oh,
so
wow.
You just have your big pen and you can write. So, because honestly, the shower is when all these things start to click in my brain, and then you get out of the shower and you've forgotten.
Right.
So my husband and my children for Christmas one year bought me this waterproof aqua paper from Wickles, and it actually works. So
oh my goodness, okay, right.
Put that in your shower. You're welcome.
I would love that, thank you. The other thing I used to use too was the kids' crayons, the bath crayons, and just write on the wall, and then when you're out, you can then transfer it onto a piece of paper. And sometimes it was a shopping list, sometimes it wasn't anything creative, but it was still important.
It's still important, and you need to remember it for later. How many times I've gone to bed and been like, don't forget. Should have written it down. Now, you focus on intentional actions, which I think is a really important thing for people listening to understand. So you pay attention to how you're feeling before you start eating food, and then you try and be really conscious of the food that you eat during that time, during that mood of whatever that mood might be, or intentional big breaths when you need to take those big breaths. So how has that impacted, or what does that do to impact your life with that intentional action?
Well, a constant reminder for me is that my mum has chronic lung disease. So whenever I think of her, I instantly take a big deep breath and fill my lungs with as much oxygen as possible, because oxygen is such so important. It's such a life-giving thing that it plays a big part in everything. And I'm a very shallow breather normally, particularly in stressful moments. So it's when I've got time, when I've got the ability, it's the feet on the floor. When I've got a chair that I can touch the floor, not this one, but when I've got my feet on the floor, I take a big deep breath, fill my lungs with air, and try and do that as a conscious thing. There's a couple of things with that. It's not just about the oxygen. When you're able to take that moment to that extent, put your feet on the floor, you are grounding yourself and you're bringing yourself into the moment, and you can do that anywhere. At the kitchen sink, in the car, anywhere that you're starting to feel a bit flustered or you're running out of time, you're in a queue at the supermarket, that kind of thing. Generally, when I'm in the queue at the supermarket, if I only got a shopping basket, I'm rocking like I've still got a babe in arms, and you look around and there's all these other mums doing it too. It's very cute. But I then just to try and ground myself, because filling your air with your air with lungs. Oh, don't do that. Filling your lungs with the visuals, filling your lungs with air, and taking that moment. Taking a glass of water, and instead of just taking a sip, it's actually going with every sip of water. You know, I'm cleansing my body. I'm in the moment, just acknowledging it, thinking it's fresh water, and I'm grateful for it. Is feeling it go down your throat, feeling it going into your stomach, going, I needed that. If it's a coffee that you've got, smelling the coffee, taking it into your mouth, holding the warmth, or if it's too hot, getting rid of it quickly. But it's taking those moments. They're all mindful moments, that they don't have to be a big meditation or anything like that, but it's just connecting you with now, so that you can release. And when you exhale after that mouthful of coffee or that water, you're letting go of whatever stress or whatever you've been holding on to, whatever's not serving you. So you just let it go, knowing that that is going to evaporate, it's going to dissipate, and it's not going to linger, because that's that whole thing of, somebody once told me years ago that don't talk in terms of losing weight. Oh, I need to lose a few pounds, I need to lose a few, because if you're going to lose it, the natural thing is to find it again. So you think in terms of, I'm just going to reduce, I want to reduce some weight, or you don't lose it, because you'll go, oh, now I found it again. You'll find it. So it's letting go of your tension and your stress, whatever's bugging you, the noise, the whatever. It's letting it go and knowing that it's going to dissipate and evaporate. It's not being picked up by anybody else. You're not going to pick it up again. You're just letting it go.
Amazing.
And it is so freeing. So freeing that you're taking in energy from that water, that you're enjoying the sunshine, you're taking the energy from that oxygen, and you're feeding yourself, you're feeding your soul, you're feeding your body, the building blocks within your body, you're feeding your brain. And even by just taking that moment, you're feeding your brain and your soul anyway.
I heard a quote years ago, I don't live by this yet, but I mindfully try, enjoy every sandwich, which sounds really silly, but you know how often at lunchtime we guzzle our I've only got 10 minutes but I need food, blah, blah, you know, I've got a next meeting, yada yada, and we hammer a sandwich back. But actually taking the moment to be like, whether you made it for yourself, whether someone else made it for you, but being like, I'm glad I had the forethought to have made this for myself this morning, and then actually enjoying it instead of just 4 mouthfuls gone and then feeling tight chested later because you've got indigestion from hammering it down. But you know, like, and that's for anything. It's not just enjoy every sandwich, it's your coffee, your water, your walk, your sunshine moment, you know, whatever those things are, and just really trying to slow down and just take the minute to be grateful and aware of all the parts that we're moving to whatever that moment is.
It is, wonderful.
Now, we are very much on the same page on the not letting a bad moment or a blip or a pothole be a bad day. And disclaimer, that's not easy.
No.
Very much not easy, definitely not saying it is. But even with my children, just trying to, you know, we always say, what's your favourite part of your day? What was going on? And if they're like, oh, I had a really bad day. I'm like, well, tell me about your day. And there's like, good, bad, good. I'm like, hey, so there was a couple bad moments that didn't need to derail and ruin it. Like we can talk about that, we can work those things through, but there were some really good things in your day. So talk to us about your approach to that negative internal voice and how you tell it to hit the bricks and get gone.
Sure. Well, I was one for a lot of head talk. I was one for the negative head talk, and being very shy as a teen, very just doubted myself completely, analysed everything, you know, just overthought everything. So it's taken a lot, but now the kids know, and my husband knows, that if I'm going, if I say out loud, okay, we'll just let that one go, it's generally me going, no, we're not having that here.
Take a walk, pal.
Whatever, not listening.
That's
so
awesome.
So it's, and you still do get it. You still, because you still make mistakes. You are human. We all make mistakes, every one of us, and it's remembering that, and that this, from this moment on, is a brand new beginning. It's a brand new page. It's a brand new day. So living, it's not living for the good, it's finding the good in everything.
Yeah. There was an ad, I can't remember what ad it was, not so far away. It must have been the last 2 years, and I sobbed every time I saw it, which was a father who passed away before his daughter got married, but he did a video and they played at the wedding, and he said, not every day will be a good day, but there'll be good in every day.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't know why that just hits you, but that's the message of, like I said, it's not easy, because I still have those moments where it just ruins my day.
Yeah.
But trying to be really mindful that there is so much good, and even if it's just the fact that we got another day to turn it around kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to find the gratitude in there.
We had a really interesting thing just recently with my daughter heading away, and my son was feeling really quite sad about her going. Oh, I'm going to miss her, and he was feeling, oh, how woe is me, down about it all. Which I can relate to as well, because heck, I was feeling awful about her leaving too. But I said to him, how about instead we think of how exciting it is for her and how much fun she's going to have. And he said, but that makes it worse for me. I said, no, well, you think of this. If we're sending her away with positivity, it's like a balloon that she's taking with her of our love. But if we pin all this negativity about her going, it's like she's dragging a great big suitcase behind her with all this stuff. I said, let's chop that and give her a balloon that she can take with her, because we are with her anyway, because we're in her thoughts, and we're thinking of her in such a positive way. And went, oh, okay. And it changed his whole mindset on it.
And even when we go back to what we were talking about earlier about lifting others up, like it's that, that pit of your stomach, like, oh, I'm going to miss you heaps, like whether it's a friend moving away or, these different things, but flipping that to be like, I'm going to celebrate the heck out of you, because good on you because I wasn't brave enough to do an OE. I really wasn't, so, but good on you, like, and I'm going to live vicariously through you, and it might inspire me to see what you can do and see how you've managed it, that I could do it too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And with the conversations with our friends and family, they might be down about something. It's really easy to jump down into that pit and join them and bemoan the fact of whatever's happened, and give extra examples of other atrocities and crises and all the rest of it. But if we go, hey, I hear you and I understand you and I feel for you, and hug them in that moment, but then gently help raise them out of it, they're going to be far better off, and you're going to be far better off for it as well, because you haven't leapt into that pit of sorrow and sadness, which is so easy to do. Because as a compassionate person, you feel that pain. You feel it, and you feel it for them. But it's about going, hey, I love you, and I know where you're at. I've got a sense of what's going on. Can I give you a hug? What can we do? And how do we look forward and look for the positive in things?
And this is next steps. What does the next steps look like? I think just knowing that sometimes is incredibly beneficial when you feel like I don't have any next steps.
No, exactly. Learning there are at least 3 positive outcomes for every challenge, because there are 3. They might not all work, they might not do the best things, but there are 3 ways of getting out of what you're doing and where you are if you've got the moment and the presence of mind to think about it.
And I saw a quote yesterday, and it said, how do you make sure doors open for you? Or when a door doesn't feel like it's going to open, how do you do it? Push or pull? It comes down to that. Basically, I can stand there and moan the door shut. Or I can push it, or I can pull it.
Yes, exactly.
But we've got to be able to have that mindset to see some options.
Now, I shared on my social media one of those about the 2 important things to remember through your day, and that is to push or pull. And then somebody said, what about slide? Oh, so 3, because that's another way too. See, there are 3 ways of getting a door open.
Mic drop. So my final question for you, Suzy, of everything you've done so far, and I don't want to squash the fact that you are going to do so much more, but to this point so far in your career, what are you most proudest of that you've done? I'm most proud of my kids and the amazing people that they are, and the wonderful adults that they're growing into, because they are their own people and they are poles apart from each other, and they're poles apart from us, but part of that nurture has helped bring out that nature, which is phenomenal. But from a work point of view, it really does have to be you and me. And the way that program has connected
and has linked so many heartstrings. When you think of things, people that you love and things that you love doing, it's like a heartstring is connecting you together, and how it's just provided so many people a beautiful oasis. So I love that, and I love that I was given that opportunity to be that person, and that I've then carried on those values, and it was my way of doing things anyway, but it's given me a public way of doing it.
Yeah.
And there's a level of expectation now that I won't say no to things, and I won't. But but if I do it, I'll say it very nicely.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I also love, and I think you should be proud of the fact that you put yourself forward for that opportunity, because so many times we'll worry like, oh, maybe I'm not the best singer yet, or I'm not confident with that part yet. And we forget that yet part, and we just go, I'm not confident with singing. Oh, if that's going to be a big part of it, maybe I don't do it. And I think you should be incredibly proud that, you know, that there was an opportunity there, but you put yourself
in my youth,
there.
I missed out so many opportunities for that very reason. I'm not good enough. I've never done it before. I don't know what to say. I haven't got anything to wear or whatever. So I've missed so many opportunities. Now, at 55, I'm picking up the phone saying, hey, I've got an idea. Want to talk? So because I'm allowing myself that opportunity to open the doors myself. So, and it's just wonderful. The opportunities are there if we give ourselves permission. We will fail. I've had spectacular fails, but that's okay, because that's all part of the game of snakes and ladders that we play.
Yeah, and just awareness means that you'll grow from each of those mistakes.
Definitely.
This has been phenomenal, but we've got a question for you from one of our previous interviewees that we'll just pass over to you. Okay. She's written one for you.
Okay. Who has inspired me in my journey to get to where I am now? So many people. There is not one person. And I guess that's one thing that we need to consider when we're choosing our role models and our people that inspire us, is that we all make mistakes and we all do things that will inspire people, but that will then, people will go, didn't know that about her. Oh, maybe I've changed my mind. But if we take the best from a whole lot of people, then we've got, you know, wonderful opportunities. So who's inspired me? My grandmother has been a huge inspiration to me as a young person. She had so many physical challenges with her health and things like that. Man, she just soldiered on. She was the epitome of perseverance and strength, and that embrace, that warmth, that glow. My mother's been an amazing inspiration to me, in her strength and her belief, and she's the one that would fake it till you make it and those sorts of things, and give things a go, and give us the belief that we could give those things a go too. She was instrumental in me in my first job in radio, in that it was, Deb, got time in the body? Okay. So in Kaikoi, I reached year 12, and we were all given opportunities to find work experience, to do a week's work experience. I think they call it like a gateway now. And a lot of my friends instantly knew. They wanted to try hairdressing. Others wanted to go into the banks. Others wanted to try accountancy, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And by the time I thought, oh, well, maybe I'll give hairdressing a go, all those opportunities were gone. So my auntie had been in radio as part of her career trajectory. And my mum said, why don't you try that? Oh, no, I couldn't do that. Why not? Come on, let's give it a go. We wrote it up, we sent it off, and so here I am today. Mum encouraged me. She had the belief in me that I could do it, whereas I would have gone, oh, no, I couldn't do that. Yeah. So my mum, Catherine McPherson on What Now, who was one of the presenters, and it was so wonderful at connecting everybody. So she would talk down the camera and be a part of the studio chaos, but you felt so connected because she kind of drew you in, and it was just this wonderful three-way communication, and it was something that I'd recognised in her that I didn't see in the other presenters at that time. So, but look, the list is long of people who've inspired me. Incredible. People like yourself who are creating wonderful resources like this, because you had to start somewhere with a blank page and go, I'm going to do this. Now, how am I going to do this? You work it out as you go along. Yeah. Yeah. You're amazing. You're amazing. I'm so proud of you. And I'm so grateful for what you're doing and for giving me the opportunity to share my little bits of little gems of wisdom.
Thank you. And that's generally what we want to do, is just inspire people to be curious about how they can live well and have that ecosystem and that ripple effect to other people's lives.
Because all the little things that I do, the taking the moment to have the drink of water, that's not something that I've created myself. That's something that I learned from somebody else in reading a book or a quote or something like that. And it's something that works for me, so hopefully it's something that works for you too. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure.
There are so many cool takeaways, and I just can't wait for everyone to see your interview, because this is really, really special.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I'll leave you to write your next question for the next person.
Wonderful.
And we will see you again next time. Ka kite.
See you later. It's time to say goodbye.
I was going to sing along, but I would have ruined that. I'm glad I didn't.
No.
I was about to go. I was like, don't you do it.
Oh, you should have. See you later. We've really got to fly. Hey, you know the words. Yay.
Of course I do. My God, that's in my blood.
Yeah, your DNA. I love it.